So team, couple of announcements before we get into day 7. One last class on this GoToWebinar link. From tomorrow, members only on a different webinar link. If you are a member and have not yet received this link, then please write back immediately to learn@it.com. All right. Then second, I will be creating Skype group for members. Third, we will be dividing into teams for project work. And this may happen next week. Skype group, we will do it this week. Maybe tomorrow we're going to do this. And then we are preparing a lot of JPACT related sessions. So primarily focusing on mock interviews and so on. So this is going to be important. Are you all able to hear me okay? Let me switch this.
I've been sending emails for pricing for ages. How can you say that you don't know what is membership? It's very sad, team. You don't watch the communications at all, a lot of you. And I'd hate keep on repeating the same boring, here is the pricing, here is the membership, go join here. So it's so simple. Go to itlearn.com. It is as simple as that. And team, you have to be very, very powerful. If you want to enter the IT industry, you can't be, oh, help me, I don't know what to do. You will not get a job in that mode, team. You have to be extremely proactive. You have to be the one which a company and team feels, oh yeah, this person or this particular team will find a solution for us. Do you see the sign up link? You can go to the sign up, pick one of these 3 memberships. There is a discount code called off30. that you use and check out. That's it. You're now a member. Depending on what you want, choose one of those options. Last class on this GoToWebinar link. Okay. Now, team, having said that, let's get going with the important aspect of the session itself. So why are we looking at Selenium Web Driver? What is it got to do that's different from Selenium IDE? Primarily, team, your IDE does not have a powerful programming language behind it associated. I'm talking about Selenium IDE. So what we've been working on is called the Selenium Integrated Development Environment. For us to be able to create Selenium tests and store them, decent enough, but the limitations are huge. There is no great reporting. Yes, I can see results, but not real great reporting. It also lacks things like how we can build automation frameworks and how we can do CI/CD integration. So these lack there. Then comes Selenium Web Driver. And the basics of Selenium Web Driver is pretty simple. Let me explain that. Okay, I think I was doing it here. Maybe we can continue. So team, primarily IDE, like I said, there are a lot of things you can do there. A WebDriver is nothing but a set of commands or files or something we call as a driver jar file, which tells me how I can work with a Chrome browser or a Firefox, Safari, Opera, IE, Edge, and so on. For each browser, it has connections. So let's make sure I save this. So Selenium Web Driver. Okay. Now, 1 second, team. I'm sorry. So now what happens? The execution of these, whatever tests we do, will finally happen on a browser. That is where my application and the test will get launched or opened. Now there are different types of browsers, team. Okay. Now for my Java language, to be able to understand how to pass certain Selenium commands, we use the corresponding WebDriver to interact and pass those commands onto the browser. Things like opening a browser, navigating to a URL, clicking on links, typing text, and so on. What we see out here, now the same steps we will write in Java code. Now, instead of writing Java code basically in a text format and running them as .java and .class files, we're going to use Eclipse IDE. That helps to write, manage, run our Java programs and projects very efficiently. So WebDriver is nothing but a connector that helps me to give commands. So a human at the end of it in the line here is having to give those commands through Java, and these commands are Selenium commands. And then we need a specific WebDriver depending on the browser type to perform those actions. All right, everyone. So without this web driver, you cannot drive your tests onto it. Can everyone hear me? Sujata cannot hear me. I don't know why. 1 second. Maybe there is a tech error. I'm just sending it to you, Sujata. So, okay. So let's save this. Alt F8, Selenium Web Driver. Now, how do we go about executing? Why do I need Java Development Kit team? To write and run Java programs or projects. Program is basically one. A project could have multiple programs in it. Eclipse IDE, very easy. No, Java Development Kit for, okay. This is an open source IDE, very popular with Java development community. So there are, millions of Java developers across the globe, and all these users rely on some kind of IDE team to be able to perform. Not that it is the only popular IDE, but one of the more popular ones that you'll ever hear. Okay. Now, what about Selenium Web Driver? We just spoke briefly about it. Now, how do I go about installing Java Development Kit? Very simple team. I want you to always search for that specific thing in Google and be able to go there. So I'm going to go and say Java Development Kit download. It'll take to oracle.com team. That's where it's being hosted. And you want to get the latest version. I would want you all, if possible, to try the same while the session is going. So we'll see if we are able to execute a couple of things, at least start downloading and installing. Now, when you come down here, choose your operating system, Windows 64, and download it. So that will get you a latest Java development kit team. And once you download this, I'm not doing it on my machine team. It should be available. I can go to command prompt and just do a regular Java. It'll find it. But there'll be a complete Java development kit folder team created somewhere. Let me know who's doing that. So that becomes your link to downloading the latest version of Java JDK. Now, please look at always making sure you're taking it from the main website. Don't use any hard-coded links. So search and get it. Now let's look at what else is there. Did I say Eclipse IDE download? So we're going to go to eclipse.org, downloads there. If you have it installed, team, don't install it again. Okay. And you can download the latest 2020-09. That's the version. If you already have Eclipse, then keep it. Otherwise, please download. Now, when you're installing Eclipse, you want to make sure of a couple of things, team. So let me also download this, or let me use a little previous version if that's fine. Okay, here in Eclipse, ensure you give the path to the JDK installed in step 1. So you want your JDK to be installed, and then when you're installing Eclipse, you have to select where my JDK or JVM, it'll say Java Virtual Machine. There'll be a link to it, team, where you download this. And that will bring you Eclipse. Finally, Selenium Web Driver should be here. So we can go and click on this download. And all that we're looking for is this latest stable version, 3.14159. I'm going to keep this. There's no specific preference and so on, Rishikesh. It's just to stay with what works fine. Okay, so team, this is where your Eclipse is, your Selenium Web Driver downloads, and your JDK. So once this is done, am I to wait for anyone doing this, or can we continue, team? So you'll get a launcher, team, for Eclipse. And in Eclipse IDE, what is important for us is to choose a new workspace. So primarily, workspace is nothing but a workbench and so on. It is all work related to one specific activity, project, or what you want to group together. We can put it there. So there are already workspaces that I have that I keep working on. And in this, what I will do, let me go to trainings, browse. I'm going to go to C drive, training. We already have a folder created for November 2020 SDET. I'm going to take the folder here, create a new one here, and say my source code. Whatever I write will go into this. And select this folder part. Let me rename this team a little better. Code. Select it, select folder. So primarily what we're creating right now is a complete workspace on that, in that folder. So if I go to this folder, I'll just see an empty one right now. There is nothing here. Now, when we create something called as a workspace. This is on Eclipse. It simply creates a folder in which we can start working, and I'll say launch this. Now, do you see a metadata folder that got created automatically? This has got details related with the project, the workspace that we're working on. So now it's kind of launching up Eclipse, and we'll be able to do certain activities with it. Okay, great. Now here is my IDE. Again, like I was saying, similar to Selenium IDE that we saw, it has got certain features, a menu bar or buttons and options, what you can do. Eclipse is primarily used for development team. And why are we using it in testing then if it is used for development? Because we are developing automation tests and they run on themselves as programs. So out here, we're going to create a new Java project. Okay. And there are also input projects. I'm not interested. But instead of going through these options here, team, you can always go through file and stay with me, please. We're going to use Eclipse all through the end of the training. So a lot of things will become important. You will see a gazillion number of options. And I don't want you to get confused. We will only do a very few options out here, team. These are available just in case people want and need. We don't want or need right now. We just have a specific one called Java project. So I'm going to click on a Java project. Now in this specific folder, this Java project is going to create it. I'll say demo, just a demo. Now this is where you have to select where your Java runtime environment, the latest one that you've installed, is set. And I'm saying, please use that environment for me. You can also use your JDK or Java Standard Edition, whatever you have installed. It should come here and say that you want to use this. Okay. You also have a regular JDK for this. You don't need it. Just select the latest one here. You also have the option for the JDK. So they all come inbuilt, team, a Java virtual machine, a Java runtime environment, within complete JDK. So once done, we're going to click on finish. For every new Java project, anything that we do, this is what we will follow. Now this pop-up is to create, I'm sorry. Now this pop-up is to create a subfolder, what they're calling as modules. So that will show up under this. I will say don't create, let it be as is. Now on the left side, your basic skeleton project is created, team. You have lot of other options on the right side like task list, outline. Whatever you don't need, close them out, team. I don't need any of these. All I need is an explorer here, a space where I write, edit, maintain code, and a console and a few other things that will come at the bottom. So that's easy for me to keep this way. Now let's expand this demo package and see that there is a Java runtime environment library linked to it automatically. Where is this? It is in program files Java JDK 14.01. From there, it has all the required Java files, packages to run some basic programs are inbuilt. We do not have to worry about this. But without a JRE, Java runtime environment associated, it does not know where to run the code. Now back here, do you see that dot metadata and then demo? It has automatically created a few files or folders, team, specifically related with your project. In this, the most important one that you'll spend a lot of time is SRC, or where we put our source code. Right now it is empty. But if I go here and say right click and say new, It's almost like file, going through file menu bar, and here click on class. That's our main Java class team. This is where our programming starts from. This is where we'll also learn coding. I'm going to create maybe 1 or 2 simple Java programs, and I want to also create maybe a few Selenium programs to show you how it works. Now let's give it a name. I'll say Java program 1. That's the name I'm giving to it. No packages, no modules, keep it simple. Only thing you can give is check this box for the main. In the next 1 or 2 sessions team, I'm going to do a very detailed deep dive into core Java. A complete walkthrough of everything. Will run a lot of programs. This is just to get started. Now you will see a basic program getting created team. And forget about this default package that is there. You can ignore it. And here is how it looks. A lot to learn in terms of how programming structure comes. But the most easiest way to do it is go simple step by step. Now remember, we named it as Java prog1.java. That's the file name. That's how the class name will also be team. Every Java program will get saved as .java file and must contain something called as a main method. The main method is where the actual logic of execution starts. What is static void? What are these internal incoming arguments? We will look later. What you see here is a simple comment. I'm going to delete this code. Now this becomes my space to write, edit, maintain code team. So I say this is a comment. No action by Java on this line. Treats it like a text, notes, or comment, not a Java line. Okay, so it kind of moves away from it. The other very basic thing that we will do is a syso. System.out.println is a command that we use to send a message from my program to the output. So if I say here, this should come in the console output, and I can write one more line and say, and this too. Now I've created a very simple Java program. Save this. If you look at it here, it'll be the same program. You can open it in a text format and see. Big difference, team, are what an IDE gives you. IDE gives you a lot of features, things like, line numbers, coloring, being able to give you help, assistance, and from the same place, you should also be able to run them, team. So I've saved, edited. Now I'm going to run this program. So click on this play icon, the green one, and you'll see the outputs coming here. So that basically tells me my Java program is working fine. And for this, I don't need anything much. And it is done. Now let us say I want to create one more. I'll say new class, which is nothing but a Java class. I'll say Java program 2. Main method, finish. I don't need this comment. Here I'll say int x equals 10. Next I'll say int y equals 20. Okay. Int z equals x plus y. Now I can print and say value of z equals plus the actual variable name here. Now this is a next level of Java program where we starting to use a little bit of some concept called as integers that primarily is used to store content or data or information. So you can reuse it when you want it in the programs. We will talk about it, team, just to show you how simple programs look and work. So I'll try and save the programs and then run. So you can check that checkbox also. So value of z is 30. It kind of is doing a simple mathematical calculation and output for us. So far, so good, everyone. Any questions, please? So Eclipse Java JDK should get you till this extent. Then comes the Selenium Web Driver, team. Where is it that I downloaded? Here. Show in folder. I'm going to take this team as is. And let's go to this folder, November 2020. And here I'll create a new folder called drivers. In this, whatever I'm downloading, I will put them here. Now, do you see the Selenium server standalone, everyone? This is called a jar file. Jar is nothing but called as a Java archived resource. Java archived resource. It's nothing but like a reusable library of functions. So this Selenium server contains functions for interacting with a browser using Selenium. So we should be able to launch a browser and work with a browser. Now, what browser do we need? Let us say I want to work with Chrome. So for Chrome, we need to download certain things. And this. Okay, demo is done. Ting, ting, ting. Let me erase this. Anyone practicing so far in parallel? Installations and so on. I'm going to go to new. In the same workspace, I'm going to create a new Java project. I'll call this as demo underscore Selenium or SE. Same Java runtime environment and say finish. Don't create a module. So now I have two. There's demo that we saw and there's demo underscore SE. Obviously, there's nothing in this yet. So I'll just say new and class and call this as cell test one. Yes, it will have a main method. Only when we get to JUnit and testng, you'll know how we don't do main method. Now, this name and this name have to be the same. If you do any changes to it, it'll start giving you errors and syntax warnings, team. Says that, hey, listen, you need to fix this. I don't know what is cell test2 because the name of the file is celltest1.java. Uppercase, lowercase, anything. When in doubt, just do it systematically, absolutely the same. It should be a crystal clear copy, team. Cannot make simple errors. You'll see how we progress on that. Now, what is it that I want to do? I want to open a browser and print the title. Open a browser, go to an application under test and print the title. That's all that I want to perform, team. Now, so there are basically three steps into it. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. How do we open a browser? How do we print something? And for any of this, you can do a very, very simple Google search also. Or let me go to a recent one and pick up DDF. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what I have. This is big, very simple one I want to see. Okay, I have some here, team. I'm going to copy this code just for our reference for now. We'll come back to it. Okay, and then I will explain this code, team. Now, let's look at this. So start of test, we're saying, and in the end, I'll put similarly end of test. Let's try and understand what we are doing here, team. So these are the steps that we're doing. I want this to be my base URL. That is correct. The base URL is nothing but the main website to which we will navigate. So there are certain test parameters to be loaded. The next thing is called a Chrome driver. All right, now see, where is that paint? Selenium Web Driver, team, is basically covering for overall any browser. When it comes to specifically one browser, let us say Chrome or Firefox or any of it, it has got its own jar file for it, or a driver file, where it has got how to interact with a Chrome and how to interact with a Firefox. These can be different. You need to get this Chrome driver. So let's put that. I did this. What else did I download? Selenium servers. Okay. Download Selenium server. That was from the above. Out here. And then we're going to download Chrome driver. Now, how do we get this from where? Again, search Chrome driver download. And when you look at this, team, what is most important is to choose the right version per your browser. So now my browser version is, I think it'll automatically update now, 86.04, which seems to be getting updated. So in this Chrome driver.chromium.org/downloads, there is one for older 85, the current 86, and the newer version 87 also. You could choose any of these, team. I'm on 86, so I'm going to get this. And downloading a Chrome Windows 32 will also works for Windows 64-bit if it's not there. So I download this. And I want to make sure that I organize them correctly, team. So for me, that's very critical. So I'm going to unzip this, open with just a Windows Explorer. And here it is, a simple 5 MB exe file, team, called Chrome driver. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back to our folder. And I have drivers here where I put Selenium. In the same one, I'll put Chrome driver as well. Okay. Now this is my path for where that Chrome driver is, correct? So let's go back to Eclipse and change this path. Is the font size too small for my code? Let's change it. Preferences, colors and fonts, edit this to 14 and say okay, apply and close. There you go. So these are my notes, team. Just a simple statement saying start of test, and this is the important one where we're giving the path to it. So here I'm going to paste that path, the new path where I downloaded. It takes this backslash as 2 forward backslashes, team, automatically. If not, you will have to put it. The reason is it's an escape character, because otherwise a backslash has different meaning in Java. So you put 2, so say that whatever is coming next, take it as is. Now this is an important step. system means my system, my machine. I'm going to set a property in this machine for WebDriver, Chrome driver. Whenever I want it, I will get it from this path called Chrome driver. That's it. These are my three important starting points, team. And for every code, any code that we have to do in automation, these lines of code become important. That is how we will perform. Now comes how I can start interacting with the application using WebDriver. So for this, I need to work with WebDriver. And I'm giving it a name called MyD. This is something we will learn a lot in OOPS in the next few days. Now this object MyD is being pointed to a Chrome driver. I can also do this in the same line and say WebDriver, my driver, whatever name, equals new Chrome driver, and that's fine. Both are fine. Now, why do we have this red line on line 18? So when it comes to coding, there is a lot that we will do with two things: syntax errors, and then second is runtime errors. Syntax errors is very basically where wrote a wrong looking code, cannot execute. Java has difficulty understanding your code. In the sense, now if I go here and say instead of system.out, I say system.output.println. Okay. Did you notice that it put a red line under output and it has it on line 11? It says that that's a syntax error. You need to resolve that issue before you move forward. It says, I don't understand what output is. I cannot perform that command. So you are the owner who has to go back in and change that correctly. Now this is set. This becomes my syntax error. What is a runtime error, team? We will explore this so much. We'll be working consistently on this. No syntax error. Issue while running the code. Now, for example, I'm saying this is the path, correct? Now I'll say Chrome driver 1.exe. Do you see any issue on line 15, like a syntax error? No, I don't. Why? Because line 15 is saying, okay, this is my path or so. It is not accessing that path yet. It is just putting that into a variable. So no problem in doing that. But on line 16, when it sets it and says that my Chrome driver is here, it'll find when executing that line that, oops, I cannot do it. And hence throws an error. That becomes a runtime error. So you will have to consistently clean up your syntax and runtime errors to come up with some beautiful looking code. Okay. Now, why is there a syntax error on WebDriver? Java does not understand everything, team. Anything built within the regular Java runtime system library, no problem. But this WebDriver is an external thing. SWD1, okay. Now, so how long has Java been in the market, team? At least 25 years? Yep, at least I think more than that, much more, 28 or 30 also. Now it's got a huge number of Java developers. Some are using it to build applications, some are using it to build firewall security, some are building it to have testing automation, some are using it for workflow, some are using it as a financial tool, and so on. Some are using it for the research, some are using it for manufacturing purpose. Every different user of Java has their own need team. So Java does not come with all these libraries inbuilt. So there is a standard Java runtime environment which has certain things that you can do, like print and so on, a few things, variables and so on. Now, if I want to work with, let us say, an Excel sheet, I need a different set of tools or instructions to interact. If I have to interact with a Word, or I have to interact with a database, or with API, or with a web browser, web driver, all of these require something called as an external jar. So there is a standard internal jar, Java runtime environment, and then you'll have to add a few more external ones for these to work, team. How do we do that? So you basically right click on your project. All right, team, follow this please, and use this video to repeat and practice in parallel, everyone. I want you to be having completed this by tomorrow. Go all the way down to properties for the project. And in this, you will notice something called as a Java build path. So when I say build path, when I'm executing Java, I need to mention where my core libraries and everything are. So in this, I go to libraries, and there is already a system library inbuilt in the module. I'll go to class path and say add external jars. For every Selenium Java project, we will need this team. And let's go to this drivers and select this Selenium server standalone. Now what we have done is I have given an option that, okay, now it is added. I can then import and use. What does it mean? That library that I just added, if I undo it, right click, properties, Java build path I added here. So I will kind of remove this jar once, get it back to normal. There is a syntax error on line 18. If I take my mouse over, it says WebDriver cannot be resolved to a type. Eclipse will usually help you to identify possible fixes in which a solution can come. None of these are real fixes, team. They're only adding more complex solutions to it. This is because there is no external library linked to it. Now go back and redo it. Properties, class path, add external jars, Selenium server standalone, apply and close. Now take your mouse over WebDriver. Do you see this word called import? Okay. So Selenium WebDriver, the one which you referenced right now, is a collection of so many, lines of Java code, team. It has a lot of things in it, and you don't want to use everything that is there available. Yes, you imported it into the project, into your specific project, but you don't necessarily want to use all of them. And that is the reason we say import. Import specifically WebDriver, and that gets added to the top of our code. If this code is commented, it does not know what to do, where to get Selenium WebDriver, and there'll be an issue, a syntax error. Uncommented, it will use it. We will not go into the depth of what are each of these Selenium server standalones. All we need to know is what is it that we need, what is it that we can use. Now let's see Chrome driver. There is also an import Chrome driver available, team. So there is Web Driver and Chrome Driver. How are they different? Think of it like this. There is something called as a home, but then there can be a condo, it can be an apartment, single family home, a ranch home, a duplex. So there are varieties, but they're all under the main parent class called home. The same here, WebDriver is the main parent. Under that, it could be a Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Opera driver, Edge driver, and so on. Now we have the basic code set team. I don't need this. I wrote it additionally. And then we have a few commands to just perform. All that we're doing here is navigating. Let's do what we wanted to do, team. Let's not do this. Go to application, get to get title. So I will say my de dot get title. There is a command. These are all Selenium WebDriver commands, team. And I will print this because whatever has come, I want to write. Title is plus this. Now that's my test. What is the issue with thread.sleep? It's very simple, team. What happens is this thread.sleep is giving a command asking for the application to wait for 2 seconds, or not the application, sorry, for the Java code to stop executing for 2 seconds. So that 2 seconds gap, it may face any interruptions, team. So that's why we use something called as exception, that it may throw an exception. And once I say throws the exception, this thread.sleep is fine. If I don't have it, then there is an issue. If you take your mouse over it also, it will give you the result and say add throws declaration and say, yeah, just say throws exception. Now, what we have done is we have written a code that seems to be syntax wise okay. A cell test one, there does not seem to be any syntax errors, team. Also, it is saved, but we don't know what will happen when we run it. There could be multiple reasons, something could fail. So let's see. Select Java application. Whoa, what is it doing? What did I do? Okay, right click on this and say run as Java application. Start of test, starting Chrome driver. It's navigating. It must have done something here. Title is welcome to ITL and learn QA Selenium Java Python automation. And then end of test. And my browser is still left open. So that's a simple regular test. And here, let us say I want to close the application under test. So when I say myD dot, there are a lot of things that I can perform. We will go deep into this team. This is where we will learn frameworks. So we got to learn basics of coding, then a little bit on JUnit TestNG, then get into automation frameworks, maybe all parallelly. So that's the test. Now let's run this again. And hopefully this time it will also close the browser once it's done. And from here on, whatever we've been doing using Selenium IDE, like writing your CSS or XPaths and so on with values, verifying this text, we could do the same out here, every one of them. But for now, I just want to see how many of you are able to do these and have come till here, please. These steps are important that I've just showed you. How we go about installing JDK, Eclipse IDE, then Selenium Web Driver, Chrome driver, and then you're primarily set. And here is a sample code. Remove that, see, let me put that code here. Questions, please. will you be all able to get this going right away without waiting? We have another 30 minutes. Installation setup. And then I want you all to be ready with this tomorrow, please. We will practice a lot on it. Sorry, team, haven't heard from anyone. I've shared the Google Doc. I've shared the instructions. I want you all to finish it now in the next 30 minutes. I will be there online. I will stop the recording. If you have questions, let me know. We can share the screen. Please complete it right now. If you already have versions from which are very old team, it's good time to upgrade then, please. Download the latest and install them into different folders. I think at least web drivers, Selenium servers, you will still need the new ones, if not Eclipse. So team, while others are doing your installations and trial, I'm quickly making Alemu the presenter. He would like to show his Selenium IDE. Yes, Zahid, I'll come to you next. Please raise your hand. Hey, Alemu.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, here is first I did it. This is the one I did first. I prepared this.
Very nice.
Okay, then I guess.
Very nice.
Okay, then I went to. Mm, okay, I have. This one is from the IT Learn. This one is from Salesforce.
Okay.
First one here is. Yeah.
So it's searching for Selenium.
Yeah, it should
Pause
go.
for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Still doing step 7 right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't take that long.
I think the network I am right now. Yes.
No, it did
Should
not
be.
identify that specific XPath for some reason.
I
It
think
worked
that's
earlier?
yeah. I think that's
Okay.
the speed.
Okay, sure, no problem. Let's look, very nice. Let's look at the other one.
Okay. Why is this hiding? I have to start it always to get the
Yeah, go
other.
see that executing is there. Click on that and go to tests.
Oh, I see. Okay. It should work. Yes. Checking error message.
Okay, very good. That's
So
nice. Good
I
one,
can convert
Alam.
this to the Selenium.
That'll be beautiful. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we want to slowly start doing now.
Yeah.
Salesforce is good. Go.it learn is good. YouTube also is fine. Good play area. Thank you, Alimu. Very good job. I like the way you put everything into a spreadsheet, nicely organized, and then went to this. So That there's effort also involved, but that was an important one.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. You're welcome, Alamu. Thank you. Zahid, I'm just making you the presenter.
Yes, hi.
Mhm.
This is my demo project which you instructed me to create. I created and
Nice.
I have get this reference library Selenium standalone.
Mhm.
I don't know why this sign is there, but anyway, I have copied whatever you have seen, and then I also have changed my Chrome location actually, which is my right here is my C drive.
Yes,
So
I see it.
okay, let me go back. And that is it. You have basically everything is yours. And I saved it, I ran it, and it said terminated. If you can
Okay,
see
one
the
second. Let's look at that error log in the bottom in near the console. There's a small tab called error log.
yeah,
So what does it say
oh,
here?
invalid zip archive class path.
Zip archive, zip. Okay. Now,
Hmm,
which is zip archive?
I have no idea. Maybe in my
This is showing
workspace.
for all the projects, not just this. So you see, you have the AP test and automation 0809. Even
Yeah,
those are.
yeah, I
And
have played a lot around by watching
no
YouTube
problem. No
videos. So
problem. Sure. So what could be the issue on this? There's no syntax error. Scroll down on this code, go till the
okay.
bottom.
Yeah,
Everything looks okay. Let's run it once. Let's see what's coming out.
okay. Proceed. Basically, not going nowhere. I had a problem with, I mean, earlier, you see this project automation created when I see this kind of uh, this annotation, whatever you can say, it looks like the
Sure.
same thing. It doesn't run. Sometimes,
I mean,
I mean, I get some corrupt or something when
there
this
is
sign
something
comes in.
wrong with the project itself. There's no question on that. Now, Zahid,
Right.
let me take control of your mouse and keyboard for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. So see, there's some error here, and definitely it could be linked with reference libraries or anything in the code. I'm going to go to
Right.
the build path and configure it. And libraries. What is this?
There's a class path which you have asked me to check with the Selenium standalone driver with
Hmm.
the class.
One second, I'm actually back on mine, but it should be under the class path. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Let me
that
remove
might be
this.
issue.
Yeah, so why is it here? Was this okay? See, I don't know what is wrong here, and I have a lot of these. Why don't we just quickly create a new workspace and try, please?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, so file, switch workspace, other. You want to give some name and check, please?
You want to browse, or I can create anyone, any name on it, or I don't know, what should I do now? Do I have to create another
Just
workspace?
create a new
Or
folder and say November 2020, for example, for now.
Mhm.
And we're going to use that folder, select that folder, and switch to that workspace.
Okay.
Oops, I should have copied. Do you have that code handy?
Yes, I do have. Yeah, you probably just have to, yeah, once it is open, I can probably.
We don't have to switch workspaces. They're in the Google Doc, right? Where did you
Yeah, I
copy
mean,
it from?
I copied from my email. I mean, it's already, if you just click and paste, it would be there. And then nothing.
Oh, okay, let's
It
see.
didn't copy anything yet.
Mhm. So sometimes Eclipse will have challenges, team. It's a software as well. And it's not pointing it to the reason, but the easiest way is to start fresh, keep things a little organized. Then it's easy to identify the root cause. So let's see what this will come up with. Zaid, meanwhile, let me go to some other members. There seems to be one or two questions. Someone else had a question. Sujata, I'd like to clarify certain doubts about the scripts assignments from yesterday. Let me know if I'm okay. Yeah, please, Sujata, raise your hand. Jyoti?
Yeah, yes, Karthik. So when I'm downloading Eclipse new version, I know I went wrong with this last time also, so I'm trying to be careful. It gives me options like, which one I should be downloading. Like it says Eclipse IDE for Java developers.
For Java
Eclipse
developers.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Yes, please. Thank you. Sujata, if you have that question, please raise your hand and go to webinar. Yes, Sujata, let me know. I unmuted you. Umesh, I unmuted you as well. Umesh and Sujata, you both are unmuted at your end. You can unmute and speak, please, if you have a question.
Hello.
Mhm.
Can you hear me? So I
Yes,
want to
Umesh.
share my screen and then I want to show what exact where I'm stuck.
Okay. Meanwhile, Syed, just let us know if your code is working. We'll come back to you. Sujata, what was your question meanwhile? Go ahead, Umesh.
Yes. See this one. Then I'm not able to do this JRE file. Then package. So what I have to do here? Package. I have to delete this one.
Delete it. Who asked you to put that? We don't need that. Yes, please. Actually, this is the problem with Eclipse. It'll give you too many additional things. We don't need these.
Okay.
Why we have Java, delete that.
It's automatically.
No, it will try to. You should avoid it. Don't
Okay.
do too much. Delete them. And
So
I
what I
would
have
suggest you
I
have
have
to
to,
follow what I did.
okay. So go there.
No, don't go there. Don't go to the menu bar. Right
This
click on SRC.
star C. Okay.
SRC.
Yeah.
Very regularly, I'll use this word called SRC.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go to new class.
Class.
Say whatever. Okay, that's good. Yes,
So
main. No. Click on main method.
main
So
method.
the checkbox.
Checkbox.
No. Team, you have to focus when I'm showing you those instructions, please. That is the one. Yes.
Finish.
So that, yes, please.
Okay. I got
Now
you.
your basic code is there.
Okay.
So here there are two codes. Do you have access to that Google Doc?
No,
Why? I
because
put it in the link in the chat right now. Can you
okay.
check go to webinar chat, please? I'm trying to communicate with everyone there.
Okay.
and I'll put two programs there so that we can test both of them.
Okay.
Let's put this. Go to the bottom all the way. Keep referring to this document, team. Okay. All the
Okay.
notes, whatever we're doing in the session is
Mm.
kind of out here. All the way to the bottom, Umesh.
Okay.
Here. Just a little top. From here. Public class Java prog 2. No.
Mm. Public
Go
class.
down. Go down. There.
Okay, here.
From here. Copy that entire thing, the second one. From there, exactly. All the way to the end. Go down, please. There you go. That's good. Control C. Control A. Control V. Now,
Okay.
see, there is one problem in the line 1. Would you know what it could be?
Yeah.
Don't click theme. Do not click mesh. Just click outside. How do we fix that problem?
Public class Java program 2. This duplicate is come.
No, it's not duplicate. It has to be the same name as the file name, which is testsal.java.
Okay. So I have to write down or I have to.
You have to write it. So
Okay.
Java prog 2, change it to testsal. Are you changing? Good. So now everything uppercase, lowercase, it's there. Save this. Yes. No, don't use that. Don't use that. Why are you using all that? Just come out of the menu bar. Certain things use those shortcut icons. Do you see the save icon on the
Control
top?
S. Control S.
No. I'm talking about the icons under
Okay.
the menu bar. The shortcut icons, we call them.
Okay.
Take your mouse to the top under file. Under that, don't click on file, please.
Okay.
Unclick.
Okay. Where I have to go now? Save.
No, I did not say that. You're not listening. And team, this is where I want you to be active listener. Click outside. Do not click on the file in menu bar. Come outside. Just take your mouse, move your mouse to file. Do not click. Come below it, one level below it. Go to the right of it, one more. That is the save.
Okay.
All right. So we have few things that we will use right here in the shortcut. Now
Okay.
let us run it. Run also is there. No. The first icon. The first, correct. That is the one. So there we go. In the console, we've got our output.
Okay.
All right, Umesh. So
Yeah.
keep trying this code. Now you can focus on the Selenium Web Driver code as well.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. And this is a very, very specific instruction that I'm giving team. And if you have any difficulty, don't research too much outside. Only try and do what we are doing and change those code. Over a period of time, we will pick it up.
Okay.
Thank you, Umesh. Neha, Sujata, what were your questions?
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to show you my work that I did for yesterday. I made more test cases. If you can just make
We
me
are
present
already
it.
out of time for today. Maybe
Oh,
tomorrow's
okay.
session, if you
Sure.
don't mind.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Thank you, Neha.
Yeah.
Sujata, do you have anything for me? Can't hear you. Don't know why. Yours is working, Zahid. Can we just take a quick look at your screen once? I'm making presenter.
Yes. Hi.
Okay,
So
it works. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Yeah, I create new project in this. So looks like
Nice,
I edit the reference and
nice.
want to write one more time. I mean, run one more time for you.
Mhm. And I honestly don't know what could have caused that issue. But since there were so many other projects in there, I thought let's go to a fresh workspace. We'll be able to figure out what it could be.
Yeah, that project probably got corrupted for some reason.
No problem. Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
thanks. Thank you.
Good one. All right.
Karthik, sorry to interrupt, but just one more thing. I haven't received the email as a member for tomorrow's class.
Nia, send an email once more to learn@IT-Learn, please.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sure, Nia. All right, team, that's it for today. I'll see you all tomorrow on the new webinar link. Take care. Bye all. Thank you so much.